Hello everyone, in this video we are going to learn HTML and this will be the crash course on HTML. Okay, so that you will have better idea what all you should know to get started with HTML, and only if you know this one you can start creating your websites and you can start applying all the styles. Okay, you can write programming languages, you can make your website interactive if you know these basic concepts of HTML. Okay, now first of all, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Okay, here I am having, and HTML will be giving the structure to our website. Without HTML, we cannot create any website. We need HTML, we need HTML tags, we need HTML content. Whatever content we are writing, we have to wrap inside HTML. Only then we will be able to create beautiful website. Without structure, we cannot create any website. HTML will tell the browser what content should be displayed, but where the content should be displayed, that will be decided using CSS. By giving all the stylings, we can tell that where this content should be appearing, but using HTML it will just tell what content should be displayed and how it should be displayed. And HTML was created by Sir Tim Berners-Lee in 1991, but at that time it was not officially released. It was released in 1995 as HTML 2.0. Okay, we are having many versions of HTML. We are having HTML 1, 2, we are having 3, 4, we are having XHTML, which is having very strict rules, and finally we are having HTML5, which is the latest version of HTML. And in this course we are going to focus completely on HTML5 because that is the version which is going on and everybody is learning HTML5. So we are going to focus much on HTML5 and what are the new tags implemented in HTML5. We are going to learn completely about that. And here you can see hypertext. We are having one link and it will be linked to multiple pages, not this book pages. It will be linking to multiple website pages. Now we will be having one link. If I click on one link, it will be redirected to another page. Okay, that is nothing but using this hypertext markup language, we are going to do all the stuff. When I click on one link, I will be redirected to another page. In that page, if I am having one link, if I click on that, I will be redirected to another page. Okay, this is how it is going to work. It is just going to link all the pages inside one page. This is all about introduction of HTML. Let's get started with creating HTML page. We are going to use all the tags and we will understand all the semantic elements in HTML. Okay, now to get started with HTML, we need two things. First is the browser and second is the code editor. You can choose whatever code editor you like. We are having Sublime, we are having Atom, we are having VS Code editor. We are having plenty of code editors available in the market. You can choose whichever code editor you like and whichever you feel that is comfortable to you, you can use that one. And you have to select one browser. In this tutorial, I will be using Chrome browser and also I will be using VS Code editor. Now here I have just created one folder, HTML course, and inside this I don't have anything. Okay, it's completely empty. Now here first I'm just going to create the first file, index.html. And also you should understand whether you should give index.html as the first page or you can give any other name. Okay, the answer is you have to give index.html. Whenever you are running this code using live server, okay, then this page will be detected automatically. If you give another page numbers, then it will display the pages and you have to click on that page. So first page, whenever you give that one, okay, you give index.html. If you are using React, you give index. Okay, whatever you give, first you give index.particular extension. Okay, and you can see inside this HTML, we have to end this file name as .html. Okay, this will be the extension for HTML. Now inside this, here I am not having anything. Now first, if you are using VS Code editor, if you just write this one, it will be giving you the basic template of HTML. Now here I am just going to write this and I will be explaining you this each one of these elements. Okay, we are just declaring this document type. Our document type is nothing but HTML5. We are telling that whatever we are writing, that is nothing but HTML. So we have to write this one and this stands for document type. Now below that I am having this HTML and this is called as attributes, and here I am having language attribute. Below this HTML tag, I just have to write here head. Okay, inside this head, all the meta tags will be displayed, title will be displayed, all the links will be displayed like font awesome link. If you are using Bootstrap, you have to include Bootstrap link inside this head tag. Okay, inside this head element only you have to include. Okay, now this first tag is called as opening tag and this is called as closing tag. Now this entire thing is called as element. Okay, now tags are nothing but individual, opening tag and closing tag. Now inside this I am having this content. So this entire thing will be called as head element. Okay, this is the tag and this is the element, head element. Now below that we are having body, and inside body entire content whatever we want to display in our website, that will be displayed. Then below this body, closing body tag, we are having HTML closing tag. Okay, this HTML has been closed here. Okay, so this is all about this basic template. Let me just close this left part. Now here inside this we are having different meta tags. Okay, inside this you can see we are having different attributes. Char set is equal to UTF-8. Okay, we are using this because we are using multiple special characters here. If you want to use emojis, if you want to use special characters which cannot be typed, you can use this one, and using this you can give all those special characters which cannot be typed from your keyboard. Okay, then we are having compatibility, that is nothing but IE Edge. Okay, Internet Explorer we are having, and this meta line is very important. If you want to make your website responsive, then you have to include this meta tag, and this content you have to include that one. And also inside meta tag, if you are creating website, then you can give the author name, then you can provide some keywords which will define your website. Keywords are not suggested much, but you can still use that one. Okay, it's not a problem, you can use that one. You can give author name, you can also tell when your website should be refreshed. Okay, inside meta tag all the content you can display. Here I am having title. Now title is nothing but whatever inside the tab. Now here I am just going to write here HTML crash course. I'll save this. I'll just copy this path. Okay, as of now I am not going to use live server. I'll just paste the path here. Now you can see inside this title I am having this HTML crash course. Now here I am just going to reduce this. Okay, now here I am having this one. Okay, here I will be writing the code and here the output will be displayed. Okay, we will be seeing the output simultaneously. Now this is all about title. Whatever I write here, that will be displayed inside the tab. Now below this body, let me just start with the headings. Inside HTML, we are having 6 type of headings, H1 to H6. Let me just write here H1 to H6. Now you should be very specific that when you have to use headings. Okay, whenever you are creating website, you should use H1 heading only for the main heading. For side headings you have to use H2. Okay, because each will be having different size. Now let me just write that one H1, and here I will be writing heading 1. Below this I am just going to copy this 3-4 times, and here and here I'm just going to change. I'll just write here 2. I'll come down, I'll be writing 3, 4, 5 and 6. I'll save this. Now you can see here this will be my output, heading 1 to heading 6. You can see the different in sizes. Heading 1 you should always use when you are giving the main heading. Heading 2, heading 3, okay, you can use for side headings. Okay, but you should not use headings whenever you want to bold the text, where you want to make the text look different, then you don't have to use headings. Headings are used only for heading purpose. You should not use inside the paragraph. You cannot use that one. Okay, headings are mainly used for headings. Okay, this is all about headings. We are having 6 kind of headings, H1 to H6. You can use headings only to create headings. Then below that I'm just writing here paragraph, and inside this I'm just writing lorem 10. I'll save this, and now you can see here I will be having this paragraph. Okay, inside this whatever paragraph you want, you can just give that paragraphs. And also if you notice here H1, I am having only H1 heading and the output is been displayed here. Then I am having H2, then output has come below, and here I am having this output. Okay, this H2 is not displayed after H1 heading because these are block level elements. Block level elements are nothing but they will be taking the complete width. Okay, whatever width I am having here left out, they will be taking complete 100% of the browser width. And also this is the block level element. Okay, all the headings are block level elements, and also paragraph is block level element. Okay, now after this spelling I am having some space, but still you can see. Now again if I just write another paragraph, I'll just write here lorem 3. I'll save this, and now you can see here the next, okay, whatever I have space I am having here, that is not been utilized. The next paragraph has come down. Okay, because these are block level elements and they will be taking complete 100% of the width. We can change their display behavior using stylings, but as of now we are not going to see CSS, so we are just learning basic difference between block level and inline elements. Okay, now inline elements are nothing but we are having span, and inside span I'm just going to write here hello. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Okay, now you can see here I'm having this hello. Here hello is not printed after this because this paragraph is block level element and it has taken complete 100% of the width. So I'm not having any space to display this hello. So this hello has come down. Now in the same way, if I just write here 5 times, I'll refresh, you can see hello, hello, hello. Okay, all the content whatever I'm having inside this, that will be printed next to each other because this is inline elements. We are having multiple inline elements. They will be taking only the space it is required. They will not take complete width. They will take only whatever it is required. Okay, they are not going to block extra spaces for them. Okay, this is all about heading, this is paragraph, and this is about span element, and also we have seen about block level and inline elements. As I told you, this is the opening tag, this is the closing tag, and this is the H1 element. Okay, whatever content we are writing here, including that one, we will call it as element. Without element, we will just call as opening tag and closing tag. Now below this we are having some more elements, okay, which will not have any closing tag, and they are called as empty elements. Now like suppose we are having BR, break tag we are having, you can write like this or you can just write like this, okay, break. Now this is going to give one break. I'll just copy this one, and below this I'll be pasting that one. I'll save this, I'll refresh this. Now you can see it has added one break after this 3 hellos. Okay, let me just remove this one. Now it will be adding one break, okay, only one break it will be adding. If I give 2 breaks, it will be adding 2 breaks, 3 breaks, okay, based on my requirement I can give. Mostly it is not suggested we have to use breaks. Using stylings we are going to change all these properties. Okay, this is all about break tag, which will not be having any closing tag. Okay, you can write like this or you can write like this, and these are called as empty elements inside HTML. And also we are having horizontal rule, HR. I'll refresh this, it is going to give me this horizontal rule, okay, one line. Okay, now we are done with this. Now let us just start with creating semantic elements. Now here I don't have anything. Now below this let us start creating semantic elements. Semantic elements are very useful inside HTML because you have to know which tag when you have to use. Because whenever you are using HTML, you should be specific that which tag where you have to use. Okay, now first I'm just going to write here header, and inside header, okay, these are called as header elements, and these are nothing but semantic elements in HTML. Semantic elements are nothing but they will be having some meaning. Like as you can see here, header, by the name itself you can tell this will be used in header, but here H1 you cannot tell what it is. Okay, if you are not aware of HTML, you will not be able to tell what is this H5 stands for, what is this P stands for, what is this PAN stands for. But if you are not aware of HTML, but if you still see this name, you can still tell, okay, this is the header part. Okay, this is how semantic elements, by the name itself, by the element itself, we can tell, yes, this is used in header. Okay, now inside header, we are having this nav element. Okay, these are semantic elements, and inside header we will be having nav element. We are going to see more about semantic elements. First, let us understand what are attributes in HTML. Now here, first I'm just going to create this anchor tag, and inside anchor tag you can see I'm having this href attribute. Now inside this I can give any link here, okay, whatever link I just want to open. Let me just write here www.google.com. okay, I'm just linking google.com here. Now here I'll be writing here, click here, click here. I'll save this, I'll refresh this one. Now as soon as I click on this, you can see I am redirected to google.com, and here it is not accessible, but I am redirected to another page. Okay, this is how we can link another pages inside this anchor tag. This is nothing but attribute. Okay, we are having this href attribute, and inside this now you can see whenever I click on this, the page is opened in the same file. But if I want to open in another tab, I can just use a target attribute. Now here I am going to write target. I'll just write here blank. Target is equal to blank. I'll save this, I'll refresh. Now whenever I click, you can see it has been opened in new tab. This is how we can link website. Whenever we click on that, it will be opening that one. Okay, this is about href attribute, this is about target attribute, and this is nothing but our anchor tag. Now below this, let me just create image. Let me just write here pixel. I'll be writing here pixel photo. Okay, now from this website you will be getting all the free images without any copyright issues. Okay, if you want to use for your project, you can use that one. Okay, now let me just select this one. I'll just copy this. I'll just copy link address. And now here I have just pasted, and inside src attribute I have just pasted that one. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Okay, here you can see I'm not getting the image. Okay, image is not getting loaded. It's fine. Now here I'm just going to write here image 1. Okay, inside this alt attribute I'm just going to write here image 1. You can see this image is not getting loaded, so it is telling me whatever text I have written here. Okay, it is telling me here I'm having some image, and this is the alternative name for the image. If the image is not getting loaded or if something like that happens, then this alternative will be included inside my website. Okay, this is how you have to write this alternative attribute, and also source attribute is included inside image. Now here I am just going to create images folder. Inside that I have just copied one image, and here I am just going to paste that image. And here I am having BU3. Let me just change the name. I'll just write here image 1. Now here inside this folder HTML course, I am having images folder. Inside that I am having image1.png. I'll just close this. Now here instead of this link, I'm just going to remove. Now here I will be writing that folder. Inside that I am having image1.png. I'll refresh this. Now whatever image I am having here, that should be displayed. Okay, now if I refresh this one, again my image is not getting displayed here. Let me just inspect this and check whether my image is there or not, whether it is having some width or not. I'll just inspect that one. Okay, if you get this error, you don't have to worry, you just have to come here. You can see whenever I hover on this image, it is showing me this blue container, which means that my image is present here. Let me just close this one. Now here, let me just add some height and width. I'll just add here height attribute, and inside this I'll just give here 100. And also I'll be adding width. Let me just add here 100. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Okay, now you can see my image is coming here. Now you can see after this click here only my image has been displayed, which means that this anchor tag is also inline element and this image is also inline element. They will be taking only the space it is required. Now if I just give here another name, this folder is not present. I'll refresh this. Now whatever I am having inside alt attribute, that will be displayed. Okay, this is all about images. Now if you just want to give some stylings here, okay, we are having style attribute. Now for this I'm just going to write here style, and inside this let me just write here color. Color I'm just giving here red. I'll save this. I'll refresh. Now you can see the color of this one is changed to red. Okay, this is how we are going to use style attribute. Inside that I just have to pass what property I want to give and what color I have to give, what value I have to give for that one. Okay, I have just passed here red. I can change it to any color. I'll save this. I'll refresh this. You can see the color is been changed. Okay, this is how we are going to handle attributes inside anchor tag and also inside images. Now here whenever I click on this, here I am not having, okay, whenever I click on this only then I will be redirected to google.com. So if I just, whenever I hover on this, if I just want to know where I should be redirected, I can just wrap that inside title. I can just write here title, and here I can just write here go to google.com, go to Google website. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now whenever I hover on this, click here, you can see I will be getting that content, go to Google website, so that I will get to know, okay, whenever I click on this I will be redirected to google.com website. Okay, this is how we are going to work with attributes. We are having style, title, target, href, alt, height, width. Okay, we are having multiple attributes, and also we have seen about this language attribute. We have just given here English. Now let's understand some of the formatting elements. Okay, formatting elements are also very important. As I told you, headings are used only for headings. Okay, now if you want to bold some text, you cannot use headings. For that we are having some of the formatting elements. Now here I'm just going to create one paragraph, and inside this I'm just going to add lorem 100. I'll save this, and this lorem is going to generate the random text for us. I'll refresh this. Okay, here I'm having all the text. Now inside this I'm going to apply all the formatting elements so that it will be very useful. Now suppose if I just want to bold this one, okay, so for that we are having bold tag. Now here I'm just going to write bold, and inside that I'm just going to copy, and inside this I'm just going to paste that one. I'll refresh this. Now you can see the text has been bolded. Okay, this is how we can use to bold any text. We can use this bold tag, okay, B tag. We don't have to use headings here. Now instead of this, you cannot write here H1. Suppose let me just write here H6, and inside this I'll be writing here H6, and inside here I'm just going to close that one. I'll save this. I'll save. I'll refresh. Now you can see this is the heading, and it is taking complete width because it is the block level element. As I told you, it will be taking the complete width. Now to bold this kind of elements, you don't have to use headings. You have to use specific formatting element. I'm going to remove this. This is the wrong way of addressing anything. I'll refresh. Now here I'm having this bold. Now next we are going to see about strong. Here if you just want to display, okay, in strong I'll just want to display. I'll copy this, and inside this I'm just going to paste. I'll save. Okay, let me just change the spelling here. It's strong. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Okay, now you can see here I am having this one. Okay, this is the output for that. Okay, for strong we are having, for bold we are having, and also we are having I, that is italic. Here I'll be writing I, and inside this I'm just going to copy this, and here I'll be pasting that one. I'll save this. I stands for italic, and it will be giving the text in italic format. Now here you can see it has been italic. And also we are having emphasized, EM. Okay, you can either use italic or you can use emphasized. Both will be in italic format. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see it is also been italic. Okay, it will be emphasized. Okay, these are all formatting elements. Now we are having small. Now here I'm just going to write small. I'll copy this, and here I'm just going to paste that one. I'll save. I'll refresh this one. Okay, by the name itself it will be telling that the content whatever it's wrapped inside small, that will be displayed in small. Okay, now you can see here I am having this output, okay, for RE, okay, based on, okay, you can see this font size and this font size, okay, we are having slight changes in the font size. We are having small, and also we are having delete, DEL, and inside that I am just going to copy this, and here I am just going to paste. I'll refresh this one. You can see here I will be having this output, okay, this will be cancelled like this. And also we are having inserted. Here I am just going to write here ins, and inside that I am just going to copy this, and here I am just going to paste. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. You can see whenever I write inserted, I will be getting this underline. And also we are having underline tag. Now here I am just going to write here U. I'll copy this one, and here I am just going to paste. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see for this I am having this underline, but this is the inserted tag and this is the delete tag. Okay, we are having multiple formatting elements, but you have to know only so much. And also we are having two more important tags. We are having superscript and subscript. Now here I am just going to write here superscript, and inside this I am just going to write here X. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you will not see any difference. Now what I am going to do is I am just going to wrap inside one anchor tag. Now here I will be writing X. Now this entire thing I am just going to write here. I'll paste that one. I'll refresh this. Now you can see X power X. Okay, for giving any power we can just write like this. Now if I just write here X square, I'll refresh this. You can see here I will be having X square. Okay, for any maths formulas you can use this one. And in the same way we are having subscript. Now here I am just going to write here H, and inside this SUB I am just going to write here 2. Now you can see the difference here, what happens. I'll refresh this. Now below this H2, below this H I will be getting this 2. For superscript I will be having above, for subscript I will be having below. Okay, these are called as formatting elements. For formatting, for giving any stylings, okay, for making the text bold, for making the text italic, for giving any underlines, you have to use this one. Okay, you should not use any kind of headings inside this one. We are having formatting elements and you have to use this one. Now let's understand some of the quotation elements inside HTML. Okay, now if you are using some of the codes inside HTML which are not written by you, which are written by some other person, you can just wrap that inside block quote. Okay, we are having one block quote here inside HTML. We are having this, and inside this you can just wrap whatever code you are writing. Let me just write here lorem 10. I'll save this. And now you can see here this output. Okay, here I will be having some space here before this one, and later on this quote will be printed. Okay, for this if you just want, you can just add some special characters. You can just add here tilde symbol. I'll refresh this one. Okay, this will be printed like that. The quote which is not written by you, which is written by other person, or the content which you are taking from other website, you can just wrap inside this block quote. This is all about block quote. Next, if you just want to write some quotes inside your website, then you are having this Q tag, and inside that whatever quote you want, you can just write that one. Let me just write here. I'll save this, and now you can see here I'll be getting this quotes around this one. Okay, you can see around this things I'll be getting this quotes. Instead of writing that single quotes, you can just write this quote element, and inside that all the quotes will be displayed. Then we are having address tag, and inside this, in your website inside footer, if you want to write your phone number, if you want to write your address, then inside this address tag you can just wrap that one. Let me just write here address 212. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see it will be displayed in italic format. Okay, instead of using italic inside footer, we can directly use this address tag. For addressing, this tag has been implemented, so we should not use italic tag. Instead of that, we can just use this address tag. Next, we are just going to write here site. Okay, whenever we are using this site tag, if you are having author name, if you are giving some book name, if you are giving some your drawing art name, then you can use that. Whatever content you are having inside that particular heading, you can wrap inside this site tag. Now here I am writing author name. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see this will be printed like this. Okay, this is completely different and this is completely different. This is for address and this is for author name. Okay, whatever publish you have done for that heading, you can just use this site element. Then we are having BDO tag. Okay, this is nothing but bidirectional tag. I'll just write here BDO. And inside this, we just have to give the direction. I'll be writing here right to left. And inside this, I'm just going to write here hello. I'll save this. And now you can see this will be printed like this, HELLO. Okay, in reverse order it is going to print. Okay, this is right to left. Okay, by default it will be in left to right. You don't have to give left to right. If you just want to reverse that one, you can just use this one right to left, and inside this BDO we can just place that one. Okay, these are some of the quotation elements, and also if you want to give comments, you can just use this one. Okay, this is comment in HTML. I'm just going to write here HTML comments. Let's understand paths inside HTML. We are having two types of paths, relative path and absolute path. Now here I am just writing image. Now inside this I am just going to give this image folder which is present inside my folder itself, okay, which is present inside. So this is the relative path. This is relative to my folder. So here I am just giving this image. I'll save this. I'll just refresh this one. Now that image is not coming because I have just not given width and height. Now here, okay, sometimes you will be getting without giving width and height, so you don't have to worry. And here let me just write here height. I'll save. Now you can see here this image will be appearing here, okay, instead of this one, okay, instead of this path, if you directly copy the path from the website and if you place that one, that is nothing but absolute path, okay. This is present inside my folder, so this is called as relative path. So you should be having the clear difference between absolute path and relative path, but it is mostly suggested that whenever you are creating website, you should use relative path, because if you are copying the links from the Google, or if you are copying the links from the another websites which is providing you the images, sometimes if that website is slow, your images will load very slow, okay. So you should always take care on that. You should be making your website in such a way that it should be user friendly to all the users. They should not wait for the image loading. So always use relative paths inside your website, okay. This is called as root folder. Now suppose inside this, let me just create another folder here. Now here I am just going to write here CSS, or let me just write here files, and inside this files I am just going to copy. I am just going to copy this one. Let me just move these images inside this files folder. I'm just moving here. I'll just come back now. I'll refresh this one. Now images will not be displayed, okay. Now whatever content I have given here, whatever alt I have given here, that is been displayed here for the first image, and here I have not given any alternative text. So here I'm just going to write here image 2. Now instead of writing here, let me just write here image 2. Image 2. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see here I am having this image 2, okay, that is the alternative text. Now what I am going to do is, now this images folder is present inside files folder, and files folder is present inside HTML course folder. You can see this is the hierarchy I have just created here. Inside this files I am having this images, inside images I am having this image, and this folder is present inside my root folder HTML course. Now for that, now here I am just going to remove this, okay, this is not going to work. Now here I am just going to write home directory. As soon as I write home directory, inside my home directory I am having only this files folder and index.html. My image is present inside files folder, and inside files folder I am having images folder, and inside that I am having this image. So this is the path I have to follow to display the image. Now you can see here that image will be appearing here, okay. This is how you have to be very specific whenever you are giving paths. Okay, this is all about absolute path and relative path. Next, let's see about bookmark. Okay, now here I'm just going to write here anchor tag, and inside this anchor tag I'm just writing here hash, and here let me just write here up, and below this I'm just writing here some text lorem. Let me just create one paragraph here, and inside this I'm just writing here lorem 1000. I'll enter. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see I'm having such a long text here. Now below this I'm having this anchor tag, and inside that I have just given here hash up. Inside this I'm just going to write here move up. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see here I am having this move up. Now when I click on this, it is not going to work because I have not added any ID yet. So here inside this paragraph I'm just going to give the ID. Okay, these are nothing but bookmarks. If you are creating website which is having longer content, you can just give this bookmark, and you can tell the user in which particular section they have to move. For that particular section you can give this ID. You can create the separate anchor tag, and whenever they click on that anchor tag, they can move to that particular section for that content. Now here inside this ID, whatever inside href I have given, I am just going to pass that one here up. I'll save this. Now when I click on this, you can see I will be redirected to the paragraph first line. Okay, this is how it is going to work. Again I'll just come down. Again when I click on this, you can see I am redirected to first paragraph line. Okay, this is how we are going to work. Now let me just maximize this one. Let me maximize and let me show you in larger screen. Okay, now here I am having, let me just select this one. Now I have just come down. Now whenever I click on this, you can see I am redirected to the first section. Okay, this is how we are going to use bookmarks. You can also create bookmarks whenever you are having multiple pages, and inside home page, if you just want to move to another page, you can use bookmark and you can shift from one page to another. Okay, this is all about bookmark, and as of now I'm just going to remove this paragraph because this is having larger content, so I don't need this one. I'm just going to remove this one. Entire paragraph I'm just going to remove. Instead of that, let me just create here smaller paragraph lorem 30, and for this I'm just going to give here id is equal to up. I'll save this, I'll refresh this one. Okay, now here I'm having all this content, and also let me just write here click me or move up. I'll save, I'll refresh. Okay, now here I'm having, whenever I click on this, I'll be redirected to this section. Okay, now let's talk about favicon. Okay, now inside this, whatever content you are having inside this tab, this heading we are having. Now before that, if you visit any website, they will be having this small icon here. So for that, you have to come inside head element. Inside this head, below this title, I'm just going to write here link, and here you can see whenever you hover, you are getting this favicon section. I'm just going to click on this, and inside this we are having this relation, we are having this href, and also we are having this type attribute. Now inside href, they have just given this favicon.ico. Now instead of this, I'm just going to give the path whatever I'm having, files, images. I'm just going to give this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see instead of that, here I am having this butterfly icon here. Okay, this is how we are going to print favicon inside our website, and whenever you are creating professional website, then you have to include this favicon. Okay, you just have to write here link, and inside that you will be having this all these things, and inside href we just have to pass the path. And whenever you are using favicon, it is suggested that you have to use .ico extension images. Okay, if you are using png or jpg, then also it is going to work, but it is suggested that you should always use ico extension. And inside that we are just having this icon. Okay, image type is equal to, we are just having this type is equal to image and x-icon. Okay, this is how we are just going to create favicon. Okay, we are having multiple sites who will be generating favicons. You just have to search favicon generator, and inside that you will be having multiple files to generate favicon. Either you can create favicon using Photoshop or whichever photo editor you use, or you can just create from Google. There are plenty of websites who will be generating favicons. Okay, now next let's talk about here table. Now here below this, I'm just going to write here h1 heading. I'll just write here h1, and here inside this I'm just going to write here HTML table. Okay, now tables are nothing but to display any data in the form of rows and columns. We are going to use table, and for table we are using this table tag. Okay, by the name itself we can tell it is a semantic element, which means that by seeing the tag itself we can tell we are going to display the table. Now inside this table, first we will be having table head. Okay, now table head will be having all the table headings, whatever table headings I required. Now suppose here first I'm just going to write here table head, and inside this here let me just write here name. Below this I'm just going to write here class. I'm just creating two columns here. Now below this table head we are having table body tag. Inside this table body, whatever content I need inside this, I just have to display that one. So here we just have to write here table row tag. Here we are having table header tag for displaying the table headers, and this is the table head. Now inside this table body we are having table row. Now inside this table row we have to give data for this table header. So we are having table data, and inside this let me just write here Khanam, and below this let me just write here second. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see this is the name, this is the class, and inside that I'm having this output. Okay, Khanam and second. In the same way I can just give multiple data here. I just have to copy and paste. Let me just write here Khanam 1, second 1. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see the second data has been displayed. Okay, the borders, everything we are not going to display now. That we are going to study when we study about CSS. Okay, this is how we are going to display the table. Now inside this we are having some attributes. Now here I'm just going to write here call span is equal to 2. Okay, now let us just see the output here. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see this name will be taking 2 column space. Now what we are going to do is I'm just going to remove here. Now this column space, let me just paste here. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see this name will be taking 2 column space. Now for class I don't have any value. So here again I'm just going to copy the same thing, and instead of this let me just write here Khanam, let me write here Sia, and below this I'm just going to write here Rima. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now inside this name I'm having 2 data, and inside this class I'm having this third data. Now whatever 2 data I have passed here, that will be stored inside this name, because for name I have just given here column span 2, which means that it will be taking 2 column space. Now we have seen call span is equal to 2, and call span will be used inside this table header. Now if I just want to use row span here, now here inside this I'm just going to write here row span, and here I'll be giving here 2. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see this second is taking the 2 row space. Now if I just remove this second from here, I'll refresh this one. Now you can see it will be taking the 2 row space. Now in the same way, if I just copy this data, I'll just copy this one. Let me just copy this entire thing, and here I'm just going to paste, and this I'm just going to uncomment. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see this second is taking the 2 row space and the third data is been displayed properly. Okay, this is how we are going to use col span and row span. Now suppose inside this you are having first name and last name, you can use that one. Okay, for column span you can just give here 2 spaces, and if you just want to display multiple data, if you are having larger data for this particular content, you can just give here row span is equal to 2 and it will be taking 2 row space. Okay, this is how we are going to work with tables. We are just having here table tag. Inside that first element will be table head, and inside table head whatever headings we want for the table we just have to display using table head tag. Now below this table head we are having table body, and inside the table body the data will be displayed in the form of rows. Okay, this is one row, this is second row, and this is third row. So we are just going to wrap this entire data inside one table row, and inside this table row we are having data for individual table head. So we are just using here table data tag, and all the data will be displayed inside this table data. Now below this let's talk about list here. I'll just write here h1, and inside this I'm just going to write here HTML list. Okay, basically we are having 2 types of list, ordered list and unordered list, and also we are having description list. Description list is not considered mostly as a type of list, but it is also a list which exists. Okay, now here I'm just going to write here unordered list. Unordered list, the first letter is U and L, so we are having here UL tag. Inside this UL tag we just have to give the list name, so we are having LI tag, and inside this whatever content we want. Now here I'm having apple. Now below this I'm just going to write here mango. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. This is the unordered list, and inside this whenever we are writing we will be getting this dot symbol. Okay, before that we will be having some dot. Okay, now we can change this setting as well. Now here I'm just going to write this style attribute, and inside this I'm just going to pass this list style type to be none. List style type, and that is nothing but none. I'll save this. Now you can see here I will not be having any dots here. Okay, all the dots has gone. Now instead of this, if you just want to write here circle, I'll save this. Okay, you can change anything. Now here I'm having this circles. Now here we are having square as well. I'll save. I'll refresh. Now you can see I'll be getting this square. Okay, based on your requirement you can give any stylings, and also we are having disk. Okay, by default it will be disk only, so you don't have to give for disk. I'll save this. I'll refresh this. Now you can see this is the default, that is nothing but disk. Okay, this is about unordered list, and inside this we are having list items. Unordered list, by the name itself we can tell that whatever items we are storing that will be unordered. Okay, they will not be having any sequence order, they will be unordered. Okay, for ordering we are having ordered list. Now here I'm just going to write here OL, and inside this we will be having list items. Now here let me just write here vegetables now, brinjal. Then next I'm having here let me write here potato, and next finally I'm having here let me write here cucumber. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see for ordered list by default we are getting this numbers 1 2 3. Okay, for any ordered list items if you just want to print you can just use here ordered list, and also we can change that one by using this type attribute, and inside that you can see we are having plenty of options. Now suppose if I just give here capital A, I'll save this. Now you can see all the data will be displayed in ABCD. Then we are having small a, all data will be displayed in small ABCD, and also we are having Roman numbers. If I just give here I, you can see the data will be printed in Roman numbers. We are having capital I, the data will be printed in capital Roman numbers. Okay, this is how we are going to print the data in ordered list. Now if you just want to nest the data here, this is the normal unordered list and this is the normal ordered list. Okay, now if I just want to nest this one, now inside this LI I'm just going to create another UL, and inside this UL I can pass any data here. LI, let me just write here yellow color. Okay, mango will be yellow, and also here I'm just going to write here green color. Okay, this is nothing but nested list. I'll refresh. You can see inside mango I'm having this 2 options. Okay, now for yellow you can see here I'm having this circle. Okay, for this nested list I'm having circle. Now inside this LI if I just create another UL, now for this I'm just going to give LI. Now here I'm going to give here colors. Now below this again I'm going to create another LI, and for this I'm just going to write here colors 2. I'll save this. I'll refresh. Now you can see third nested I'm having this square as my default styling. Okay, this is how we are going to display. Now if you just want to check for the fourth one, now inside this I'm just going to create UL. Here I'll be writing LI. Let me just write here image 1. Below this I'm just going to write image2. I'll just copy this one and here I'm going to paste. Now here inside this I'm just going to write here image2. I'll refresh this one. Okay, now this squares will keep on continuing if I nest this image2. Okay, this is how we are going to create nested list. If you are having multiple data inside that list, we can just nest the list. Okay, in the same way for ordered list, if I just want to order this one, now here again I'm just going to create OL. Now inside this I'm just going to write LI and here I'll be writing brown. Then next I'm just going to create LI. I'll be writing here 2 kg. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see again. Okay, now here I have given the type as Roman numbers. As of now I'm just going to remove this type. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see here for this, okay, without nesting also I'm having numbers, and after nesting also I'm having numbers, because this is ordered list. Unless and until I don't give the type, it is not going to change the stylings. Okay, the numbers will be displayed by default. But here for unordered list, we are having different stylings for each nested list. Okay, this is all about list. And finally we are having description list, and inside this description list, if you just want to store any description, now first let me just write here description list, and here I'll be writing the title as description. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see here I'm having this description. Now here let me just write here DT, which means that description term. Let me write here coffee. Now below this for coffee I just want to store some data. Now inside this coffee let me just write here I like cold coffee. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see for coffee I'm having this output. Okay, for coffee I'm having, again I can just copy this one and here I'm just going to paste. Instead of coffee I'll be writing here tea, and here I'll be writing I like black tea. I'll just remove this. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see for coffee I'm having this description data, and for this description term I'm having this description data. Okay, this is all about description list. There are basically there are two types, ordered list and unordered list. And description list, if you just want to give any description, then you can use that one. And if you notice here, all this UA list, unordered list, all this list items are block level elements, because they are taking the entire width. After first, the second is coming down. It is not coming next to first. So these are block level elements. Okay, now we have understood all the basic tags in HTML. Now finally let's understand what are semantic elements and how we have to layer the HTML structure. Okay, now what I am going to do is I'm just going to create another file. I'll just save this one. I'll just open another file, and for this I'm just going to write here index1.html. Okay, basically we don't give index1.html. So as of now I'm just going to give here. First I'll be writing this basic boilerplate, and inside this first I'll be writing header. And inside this header we are having this nav element, and inside this nav all the list items. Okay, we are having home, we are having about, we are having contact, all the list items, whatever we want to print, we can just print that one. Inside nav we can just write here UL, and inside UL we can just write here home. Then I'm having about, then we will be having contact. Okay, this is the structure you have to learn whenever you are creating website in HTML. Okay, below this maybe you can have icon or something. Okay, now here I'm just going to create another div section, and inside this I'm just going to create image. My image is present inside files, images, and here I'm just going to give this one, and also I'm just going to give the width. Let me just write here 50, and also height is equal to 50. I'll save this. Let me just remove this. I'll save this one. I'll just copy this path, and here I'm just going to paste that one. Okay, this is my output. Here I'm having all the nav items. Whatever I just want to display inside the nav, I can just display that one. Okay, for that we are having header tag, and for displaying the nav we are having nav, and inside nav only we just have to display this one, or you can just paste below this one. Okay, based on your requirement. Okay, but you have to use specific tag whichever it is required. Then below this header we are having main section. We will be having main section. For that we are having this main tag. Inside that we are just having, like, we are having separate section. For sections we are having separate section tag. Inside section, suppose maybe we are having articles, so we can just write here article. And inside, okay, article is nothing but it is going to give the independent content. I'm just going to write article here. Let me write here lorem 20. Okay, inside this article I'm having this section. Maybe I'm having 3-4 articles here. I'll copy this one, and here I'm just going to paste, and here I'm going to paste. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. You can see 3 articles will be displayed. Okay, instead of creating here div, okay, this is the division tag. I have not explained to you about this. This is the division tag, and this is block level element, and it is used for mainly creating separate sections. Okay, for sections we are having section tag, so we have to use this one. Inside that, if we are having some content, instead of placing this inside paragraph, we can just place this inside article. If you just see that content, whatever you are displaying, that is independent to each other, then you can just display using article tag. If you just want to display any ads inside your website, okay, like that is not very important, but you can just write here aside tag. Okay, the section which is not having important information, you can just display that one using aside. Okay, and this content will be displayed aside. Okay, whenever you are giving stylings, you can just display either left side or either right side. Okay, this entire thing you can just wrap inside main section. Whatever you feel that is important to you, you can just wrap inside the main element, and you can just give the content. Okay, for header we are having, for nav we are having main section, sections, articles, we are having aside. Okay, by name itself we can understand what it is going to do. Okay, now finally inside this, okay, let me just create another section here. Now below this, maybe I am creating another section, and inside this section I am just creating article, and inside this article I am having some bullet points. Here I am just going to write here UL, and inside LI, let me just write here 3 LIs, and inside each LI I am just going to write some content here. Lorem 10. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. You can see this is stored in another section, and inside that I'm having this list items. Inside this section, if you just want to print another article which is having form, then also you can do that one. And also whatever formatting you want to give, okay, for first letter, if you just want to bold, if you want to give italic, whatever stylings you want to give, okay, everything you can give using the HTML formatting elements. Then after this main section, we are having footer, and inside this we can just create one paragraph, and here we can just write here all rights reserved. And also for this one we are just having this one copy, and this is nothing but entity. I'll save this. Okay, now below this we are having this footer. You should know HTML semantic elements. This is the most important concepts you have to know. You should be aware where you have to use which tag. Wherever you feel you should not use the tag, wherever it is required, only then you have to use the tag. We have specific meaning for each and every tag, so we have to use that one. Okay, this is all about HTML basic layer structure. Whatever content you want, you can give that one. Now here I am just going to open index.html. Now below this we are having some computer code elements. Okay, now if you are printing some code inside your website, then we are having this code element, and inside this you can just create the code. Okay, whatever code you want to give, like x is equal to 4, then semicolon, then y is equal to 5. Okay, whatever you want, you can just give that one. I'll save this. Okay, let me just copy this file path, and here I'm just going to paste that one. Okay, now you can see below this, you can see here I'm having this code. Okay, this will be having different font family. This will not be similar to this font family. This will be separate font family. Okay, so if you are printing any code inside your website, then you can use this computer code elements. If you just want to give any shortcuts, we are having this KBD tag, and inside this, let me just write here Ctrl+A. Okay, for selecting all the content, we are having this Ctrl+A. Okay, for that you can just give this one, and this will be displayed in separate font. You can use this particular tag if you are giving any shortcuts inside your website. If you are writing code, then you will be having sample output. Okay, for sample output we are having this sample SAMP element, and inside that we can just give the output. Okay, whatever output we will be getting, we can just pass the output inside this sample tag. Okay, you can see this will be printed like this, and this will exactly look as we are writing the code inside our website. So you should use proper tags so that it will be very interactive and attractive to the users. Suppose if you just want to pass any formula here, now here I am just writing here paragraph. Inside that I am just writing here 2HB. 2HB. Okay, this is my formula, and here let me just write here 2 into H into B. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Okay, now you can see this will be printed in normal font. Okay, but I just want to display as it is a formula. Okay, now these are the variables. Okay, these are unknown variables. Only when I pass these variables, I'll be getting the value. Okay, so for variables, we are having variable tag. Inside this paragraph, I'm just going to create that one. Now here I'll be writing variable. Inside that, I'm just going to pass here H. Again I'll be writing, I'll just come outside of this, I'll be writing here into, I'll be writing variable, and here I'm just going to pass here B. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see the basic difference between this and this. Okay, this is the normal font, and this has been italic. Okay, this is how we are going to pass variables inside variable tag. Okay, these are some of the computer code elements. We have seen about semantic elements, and you can see by the name itself we can tell it is a code, and we will be writing some code inside that one. And also if you have noticed here I have written this and copy. Now what is this? Okay, this is nothing but this is entity in HTML. Okay, now suppose this, you can see whatever, let me just copy this path. and here I'm going to paste. Okay, now for copyright issue we are having this symbol. Okay, this symbol we cannot print. Okay, the symbols which cannot be printed, we can just write this particular codes and we can get that one. Now here, let me just come here. Now inside this paragraph, now here if I just write this one, you can see here I'm getting this error. Okay, this error kind I'm getting. I'll refresh this one. I'll refresh this, but here I'm getting this output, but here you can see I don't want this color. Now instead of using this kind of symbols which is already present inside HTML, instead of that I can just write here less than symbol. I'll save this. You just have to write here and last you have to write here semicolon. I'll refresh this. Now you can see here I'll be having proper output as well. To print this kind of symbols, we can just use this kind of entities here. In the same way we are having greater than, and here I'll be writing and GT greater than. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. You can see here I'm having this symbol. Okay, we are having multiple symbols. We have seen about copy. Let me just write here and copy, and also we are having for reserve and for registry we are having. Okay, you can see we are having multiple symbols here. Whichever symbol you require, you can just write the code and you will be getting the output. You can see here for copyright we are having, for registry we are having, for each and everything we are having this code. You just have to write here and that particular code and semicolon. You will be getting that output. Now here I'm just going to write one paragraph, and inside this if I just write here smile, you can see here I'll be getting all the emojis related to smile because I have installed these emojis. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now here I'll be getting these emojis. But if you have not installed emoji and if you want to use emojis inside your website, then we are having some codes as well. Okay, for emojis we are having some numbers and which is not at all possible to remember all the numbers. So here I'm just having one number. I'm just going to write that one, hash and 128512. And here I just have to write here semicolon. Let me just write here hash and I'll just remove this. Save this. I'll refresh this one. Okay, this entire number is been printed. I just have to reverse that one. First I have to write and then I have to write here hash. Okay, this will be printed now. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see the emoji will be printed. Okay, if you have not installed emojis and if you want to use emojis, then you can use this particular codes. Once you search in Google, you will be having the entire list of emojis. You can use that number, and before that number you just have to write here and hash, and after that you just have to write here semicolon. Okay, that emoji will be displayed to you. Okay, whichever emoji you want, you can just display the number and you will be getting that output. Okay, this is how we are going to use emojis. HTML forms. We will understand how to create forms, and also we will understand why we have to use forms inside our website. Okay, now here I have just opened this paint. Okay, now form is nothing but it will be acting as a container for all the input fields. Okay, now input fields are nothing but if the user is entering some data, whatever data the user enters, that data will be sent to the server. Okay, now here this is the form. Suppose imagine this is my form, and inside this I'll be having many input fields. Okay, maybe this will be for my name, this will be for email, this will be for phone, and this will be for address, and below that I will be having one submit button. Okay, now user enters all the data here. Suppose now user enters some data here. Again inside this field user enters some data, then again user enters some data inside this field. Okay, in all the fields user is entering some data. Now this all the fields user has entered some data inside the form. Now here this is our submit button. Let me just write here submit button. Okay, here we will be having one submit button, and inside this, okay, now this is nothing but this is my submit button. Now this user has entered all this data. Whenever user click on this submit button, whenever user click on this, okay, the data will be sent to the server. Okay, inside this server, whatever data we are having here, this entire thing, that data will be stored inside this server. Okay, inside this server the data will be stored, and whenever you need this information, you can directly send request to the server. Then server will process the data and the data will be sent to you. Okay, this is how forms are very useful whenever you want to send any feedback, or if you want to complain anything. Okay, if you want to contact with anyone, so forms are very useful in our website. Okay, if you are making website, then at least one form you should be having in your website, so that the users visiting your website, they will be able to contact you. Okay, they will be able to send the issues, or they will be able to send the feedback to improve your website. So form is very useful. Okay, nowadays forms are used in each and every website, so you should know how to use forms, how many input fields are there, how many types are there inside the form, why we have to use submit button, everything we are going to understand now. Okay, now as I told you, form is nothing but it is one container. Inside that all input fields will be stored, and here whenever we click on submit button, whatever data is entered inside the input field, that will be sent to the server here. Now here I'm just going to create one form. Okay, form tag. Okay, we have already seen about semantic elements. By the name itself we can understand, yes, we are going to create form. Okay, this is nothing but form, and inside that we will be having input tags. Now inside this input, by default it will be having type is equal to text. Type is equal to text is nothing but we can input any text. Okay, we can input our name, we can input our address. Okay, we can give that kind of inputs. Okay, text inputs. I'll save this. I'll just copy this path, and here I'm just going to paste that one. Okay, now you can see here I'm having one input field. Okay, now inside this I can just write characters. This will allow me to write numbers as well. Okay, but while doing validation, these types are very useful. Okay, now here I am having this type is equal to text. We are having plenty of types that we are going to see in separate video, but this is how forms are very useful. And also let me just write here input. I'll just write here input, and for this type is equal to submit. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see it is going to give me the submit button here. Okay, without giving button, let me just write here button, and inside this button I'm just going to write here submit. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Okay, this is the normal button. The second button is the normal one, but this is the button which we'll be using inside the form. Okay, because we have given the type is equal to submit, and if you are aware of PHP, we will be writing whenever we click on submit button, only then the data will be inserted inside the server. Whenever we are using forms, we will be using this input field. Okay, you can use button as well, and for this you can just give type is equal to submit. Okay, whatever you want, you can just write that one. Let me just comment this one. And also whenever you are using form, we are having this label tag, and inside this label I can just write here name. Okay, this is for name, and let me just write here another one, and for this I'm just going to write here label, and here I'm just going to write here address. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see for this input field it is going to give me this, okay, this label. Again for this input field it is going to give me this label. Now if you notice here, this input elements are inline elements because they are taking only whatever space they required, only that particular space they are taking. And also this label is inline element, they are taking only the space it is required. Okay, they are not block level elements. Okay, you can give basic stylings for that, and you can make them block level element. As of now I'm just going to give here break tag. I'll just write here break. I'll save this. Now if I refresh this, you can see here I am having some spaces. Okay, if you want, let me just give another break here so that I will get some spacing. I'll refresh this. Okay, now this is my output. Okay, but you are not going to give break tags. Using stylings, we are going to make this input elements as block level elements, and then we will be making our form. Okay, you should not do like this. Only for better understanding I have done. Okay, this is how we are going to create. Okay, this is the basic form. I can just enter my name here. I can just enter my name, then I can just enter the address, and whenever I click on submit, the data will be sent to server. If you have written any backend programming language like PHP, then whatever you have written, that data will be sent to server. Okay, this entire data will be stored inside the databases. Okay, whatever information is stored, we can just fetch the information from the database and we can display that data inside our website. Okay, and also inside this label, we will be having one for attribute, and inside this, let me just write here name, username. Okay, username, and inside this input field I just have to give the ID, and whatever for I have given here, the same name I have to give here. Okay, because this is going to bind this one. Okay, this entire thing will be bind. I'll just come here. I'll refresh this one. There is not much effect, but if you give here for attribute, then ID whatever you are giving here, this and this should be matching. Okay, you should always take care of this. If you give this for inside input field, whichever, okay, for whichever input field we have given this label, for that we have to give the same ID. This input element we can display in many forms, like because we are having multiple types, we are having email, we are having radio buttons, we are having checkbox, everything we are going to study when we study about this type attribute. We are having plenty and plenty of options. Okay, for color we are having, for date we are having, let me just write here color. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see I got this color, and from this I can choose any color. Okay, this is also very useful. We are having many types. We are going to see that later. As of now we have seen only about text and type is equal to submit. We have seen these two types. Then we have seen about this label element, and inside that we will be having for attribute, and inside input fields we have given this ID. If you are sending data inside the server, then we have to use this name attribute, and inside that you can give any name. Okay, now this name, whatever you are giving here, whenever you are sending the data inside the server, okay, you should pass this name. Okay, this is all about this name attribute. And also we are having this value attribute, and inside this, let me just write here Khanam. I'll save this. Now you can see here, without refreshing, I don't have any data inside this input field. Now as soon as I refresh this, I will be getting one value here. Okay, that is nothing but Khanam. Okay, this will be the default value. Now if I just write here Sanya, I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see I will be getting this default value. Okay, this default values will also be very useful whenever you want to add some pagination. If you want to give the default value as the first page, you can give this one. Okay, these values are very, very useful. Okay, inside input fields, we are having name attribute, we are having value attribute, we are having ID. If you want, you can give ID. Whenever you are giving for, you can give this ID. Okay, then inside label, we are having this for attribute. Now inside form, we are having this action attribute, and inside action, whenever I click on submit button, where my data should be sent. Now here, let me just create one file. I'll be writing here data.php. Now this file I am just going to create here. Okay, let me just write here data.html, because PHP we are not using here. I'll be writing here data.php. Let me just write here HTML, data.html. Now inside this, I'm just going to write one h1 data sent. Okay, like this we are not going to do, but as of now I'm just doing this one. I'll just come here, I'll refresh this. Now whenever I click on submit button, you can see I am redirected to data.html, and username is equal to Sanya I am getting, because you can see my default value is Sanya here. So whenever I click on submit, inside this URL the data is been sent. Now inside this form, we are having another attribute, that is nothing but method. Method is equal to post. Okay, we are having two types of methods, post and get. I'll just come back. I'll refresh this one. Now whenever I click on submit, you can see now inside URL I am not getting Sanya name. Okay, you can see here by default I am not having any data, because I have passed the method as post. Okay, post will be very secure. Whenever we are sending any kind of data to the server, post method is very useful. Whenever you are passing any sensitive data like your password, email address, then you can use post method here. Okay, if I just write here get, I'll save this. I'll come here, I'll refresh this one. Now when I click on submit, you can see inside URL I am having this username is equal to Sanya. Okay, for bookmarks, get method you can use if you just want to bookmark that one, or else you should not use get method for passing sensitive data to the server. Okay, we should always use post method. Okay, inside this form we are having this action attribute, we are having this method attribute. Action attribute will tell whenever I click on submit button, the data will be sent, okay, to this file. If I don't give this action attribute, by default it will be processed inside the same file. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now whenever I click on this, you can see inside the same file the data is been processed and I got this output. Okay, this is how we are going to perform these actions. If you are aware of little bit of PHP, or if you don't know, then also no problem. Okay, but this is how we are going to use forms. Okay, using this input field we can display multiple data, and using this one, okay, now whenever I click on submit button, whatever action I have given here, it will be processed inside that one and the data will be sent to this file. Okay, but when we are using PHP, we will not send the data to other files. We will be sending the data to the server, and from server we can process the data. Okay, and also we are having this one, and inside this we can just give here target. Target is equal to blank. I'll save this. Now this is going to open in the new file. I'll refresh this one. Now let me just remove this action. I'll just remove. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now whenever I click on submit, you can see it has opened a new tab here. Okay, it has opened a new tab, and inside the new tab I got this output. Okay, because I have given here target is equal to blank, which means that the data, the file will be opened in another tab. If I am writing here self, okay, by default it will be self, so you don't have to worry. I'll just close this. I'll refresh this one. Now whenever I click on this, you can see in the same file I am getting this output. Let me just remove this. Now when I click on submit, you can see in the same form I am getting this output. I'll enter. Now if I just write here blank, I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now when I click on submit, you can see the new tab is been opened. Okay, this is how we are going to use target attribute. Now if I just write here action, action is equal to data.html. Let me just write like this. I'll refresh this. Now whenever I click on this, you can see inside this I am having this data.html, and here I am having this output. Okay, this is all about the basic structure of form. We are just going to learn some of the form elements now. Okay, we have only seen about this input and label. Now we are going to see some more form elements. So I'm just going to create here new form, and action as of now I'm just going to remove because I'm not submitting any data. So I'm just going to remove the action. Now inside this, first we have seen about this label, and here for, let me just write here username, and here I'll be writing here name. Below this I'm just going to create input field, type let it be text, and also I'm just going to give the ID. ID will be same as the for. Okay, whatever I have given inside for, that will be same. I'll just copy the path, and here I'm just going to paste that one. Okay, now you can see here I'm having this form. Okay, this is one element inside form, label. Input field we have seen. Now we are going to see select element. Now here I'm just going to write here label, and inside this I'm just going to write here select option, and here I'll be writing select data. Okay, you can give anything here. Now inside this I'm just going to create here select element, and inside name whatever you want you can just give here. Let me just write here fruits, and ID I'm just going to give here whatever I have given for this label. I'm just going to paste that one here. Now inside this select I'm just going to create some options, and for this options we have to give some value. Like I'm just going to give here banana. Okay, this will be very useful whenever you are sending this data to the database. Okay, whatever value we are having, using that value we will be sending the data. Now here I'm just going to pass the same fruit name. I'll copy, and here I'm going to paste. I'll just copy this 3-4 times, and here I'm just going to change. I'll just write here mango, and then here and here I'll be writing apple, and here let me just write here pineapple. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see here I'm having this select data, and inside this I'm having this drop down list. Whenever I click on this, you can see all the data will be appearing: banana, mango, apple and pineapple. Okay, by default whatever first data I have given, that is nothing but banana, that is been selected here. Okay, by default it is been selected. Now suppose instead of that I just want this apple to be displayed. So here I can just write here selected. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see apple is selected. Now whenever I hover on this, you can see by default apple will be selected. I can choose whatever data I want, and I can insert the data inside the database. Okay, this is how we are going to use select element, and inside this select we will be having this ID attribute and name attribute we have given, and inside this options, okay, inside select we will be having this option element, and inside that we have to give this values. And whatever data you want, you can just store that one here. And by default the first value will be selected. Instead of first one, if you want some other data should be displayed, you can just give here selected. You can either write like this or you can just write like this. Okay, both are correct, but inside HTML, okay, we will be following this rule. I'll come here, I'll refresh this one. Now you can see again it is going to work. You can either write selected or you can just write like this. Okay, both it will work and you will be having the same output. Okay, if I just want to select multiple data, inside this select element I'm just going to write that one, select tag. I'll just write here multiple. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see I can select multiple data here. Okay, now all the multiple data, all the data will be displayed here to me. You can see all the options whatever I'm having here, that is been displayed to me. Now if I just copy and paste this 3-4 times, I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see I'll be getting this drop down list, and whatever data I want I can just select that one from here. Okay, if you just write here multiple, it will work like that. Okay, this is all about select element. Next we are having text area. Let me just write here text area, and inside this you can see we are having many attributes. We are having name. Now let me just write here name. Okay, you can give anything here. ID also, let me just write here name. And column is equal to 30 and rows is equal to 10, which means that, okay, the number of visible lines, okay, whatever visible lines I can see, that is nothing but rows. Okay, this is the number of characters present inside one row. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see this is my text area. Now before that let me just give one label, and also I'm just going to give one break. I'll just give 2 breaks here, and here I'm just going to write here label, and inside that I'm just going to write here feedback. Inside label I'm just going to write here for attribute, and whatever name I have given for ID I'm just going to copy. I'll paste that one here. I'll refresh this. Okay, now this is my text area. Now inside this I can just write that one. Now for better understanding, let me just write here 3, and here I'll be writing 5. And now I have written here 5. Now here I can just write that one. Again I can just come down. You can see here it is going to type like that. Okay, totally the data will be displayed in 3 lines. Okay, this is how it is going to work. Now if you just want to increase or decrease the size, you can just do that one. Okay, based on your requirement, you can just give the size whatever you want. Okay, you can just drag and increase the size, and you can just shrink like this as well. Okay, this is all about text area. This will be very useful whenever we are writing some feedback form. We can just use that one. Let me just copy this break, and here I'm just going to paste that one. I'll save this. I'll refresh this. Now here I'm having this name input field, then here I'm having this select field, then here I'm having this text area. Now here I'm just going to write here BR, and again I'm just going to write one more BR. Now below this I'll be writing label, and inside this I'm just going to write here field set data. Now here let me just write here field set. Field set. Now field set and legend, what it is going to do is it will combine the data. Now this field set, what it is going to do is it is going to combine the related data. Now you are having first name and last name. It is going to combine that first name and last name. Okay, now let's see an example of that. Now for this, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write here field set, and inside this field set we will be having one legend element. Now here I'm going to write here legend, and inside this I can just write here data or personal data something. Okay, this is the heading, and this will be acting as a caption. Okay, now this legend will be giving the caption for my data. Now below this I'm just going to create one label, and inside this label let me just remove as of now. I'll just remove this for, and here I'll be writing first name. First name. Below this I'm just going to create input field, and inside this input field here I'm having all these things, and also I'm just going to give one value here. Value, let me just write here Ria. Okay, this is the first label. Inside this legend, okay, inside this field set I'm having this legend. This will be acting as a caption for my data. Then I have just written the label, that is nothing but first name. Then I'm having this input field. Now below this let me just add one break, okay, so that the data will be displayed in next line. Then again I'm just going to copy this same thing. I'll just copy this, and here I'm going to paste, and instead of first name let me just write here last name, and instead of Ria let me just write here Sharma. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see how the data will be displayed. Okay, this is nothing but my label field set, and this is the data, and this is going to combine this one. Okay, let me just add one break as well. Here also I'm just going to add one break. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see first name is Ria and last name is Sharma, and this entire thing is wrapped inside one container. Okay, if you just want to combine all the data, or if you just want to relate whichever data we are having, inside first name you are having these two things, inside email or inside address like street, pin code, everything, if you want to combine inside one column, you can just do that one. Okay, using this field set, and you can see this data whatever I have written here inside this legend, that will be acting as a caption for my container. Okay, this is all about field set and legend element inside form. Next we are having this data list. Now data list element, what it is going to give is it is going to give me the predefined list. Okay, now here I am having this select options, and inside this whatever options I want I can select that one. Now here if you are just filling some form, and whenever you click on that input fields you will be having states. Okay, you can't see the options, but whenever you click on that only then you will be seeing the options. We can also create like that kind of drop down. Now what I am going to do is first I am just going to create input field, and inside this input whenever we are using data list, here I just have to write here list attribute. Inside this let me just write here states. Now whatever attribute, okay, whatever name I have given here inside list, now if I just create here data list, and inside this I have to pass this ID, and whatever I have given here that should be matching with this one. Okay, only then it is going to work. Now here I am just going to write here options, and inside this let me just write here Karnataka, and here I'll just write the value. I'll just copy this, and here I'm going to paste, and I'll be writing some more data here. Maharashtra. I'll copy this, and here I'm going to paste. Here I'll be writing Mysore. I'll copy, and here I'm going to paste. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Okay, now you can see here I'm having this input field. Okay, this is how it is going to display. Now for this input field, before that let me just add one break here. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Okay, now you can see this is the input field. Now whenever I click on this I will be getting this kind of options, but for select let me just remove this multiple and show you the output. For this select I have given this multiple option. I'll just remove this. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see the apple, the first data will be displayed for me, and it is giving me this drop down icon here. Whenever I click on this, I will be getting all these options. But when we are using this data list, okay, it is not going to display me any drop down. Whenever I click on this, only then it is going to display this one, and whatever data I want, I can just select that one, and that data will be displayed to me here. Okay, this is nothing but Maharashtra. If I just want to change, I can just remove this one from here. Again, if I just select, I can just give any value whatever I want. Okay, these are very useful whenever we are using states or whenever we are giving places names inside our form. Then we can use this data list. Okay, if you don't want to use this select data, we can just use this data list and we can display the data. Inside this data list, before that you have to write this input. Okay, and this list attribute must be referring to this one. Okay, whatever ID we are having inside data list, that should be referring to this one. Now if I just remove this one, I'll refresh this. Now you can see I will not be having any output here. Okay, so this is very useful. You have to give input and list is equal to states, and this whatever we are giving here, that should be referring to this one. Only then it is going to work. Now if I just write here another name, let me just write here state. Okay, instead of state I just wrote here state. I'll refresh this. Now whenever I click on this, you can see it will not give me any output. Okay, whatever name we are writing here, that should be referring to this one. Only then we will be having the output. I'll refresh. Okay, now you can see here I am having this output. Okay, this is how we are going to use data list element. Okay, next we are having opt group tag. Now it is used to group related information. Okay, now how we have seen in field set, it is going to combine the related data, whatever we are having, it is going to combine in one container. Now inside this opt group, it will be giving me drop down list for separate sections. Okay, now let's see the example of that so that we will be having clear idea on that. Now here first I am just going to give some break tags, and below this I am just going to give here break, and inside this first let me just write here label. For let me just write here vegetables, and here I am just going to write here vegetables. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Okay, now here I am having this vegetables. Now below this label I am just going to create here select. Let me just write here proper spelling. Select, and inside this name let me just write here veg, and also ID I am just going to write here veg. And inside this select options, I'm just, instead of option, first I'm just going to write here opt group. You can see here I'm having all this option. Inside this opt group I'm just going to write the options here. Options, first value let me just write here brinjal. Then next I'm just going to write here potato. I'll just remove these two options from here. Okay, this is my first opt group. I'll just copy this brinjal, and here I'm going to paste. I'll copy this, and here I'm going to paste. I'll save this, and I'll just show you the output here. Now you can see here I'm having this brinjal and potato inside this vegetable. Now next I'm just going to copy this, and below this I'm just going to paste that one. Now instead of this, let me just write here lady's finger. And here let me just write here carrot. I'll copy this, I'll paste here, I'll copy this, and here I'm going to paste. I'll save this, I'll refresh this one. Now whenever I click, you can see this is the first option. Okay, here you can see I'm having some space. Then this is the second option. Okay, this is how opt group is going to help. It is just going to group this particular data, and we will be having some space. Okay, whenever you are writing this opt group, you can just write here. Okay, for vegetables you can write here, then for fruits you can write here, then for vehicles you can write here. Okay, like that you can just select multiple options and you can give that one. Now here instead of this, let me just write here mango, and here I'll be writing apple. I'll copy apple, I'll paste here, I'll copy mango, I'll paste here. I'll save this, I'll refresh this one. Now you can see this is the vegetable section and this is the fruit section. Okay, now for this opt group you can just give the label here. Now here I'm just going to give one label. I'm just going to give here vegetables. And for this opt group, second opt group, I'm just going to give here label. I'm just going to write here fruits. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now whenever I click on this, you can see inside vegetables I'm having these two options. Inside fruits I'm having these two options. Okay, like that you can just group multiple data and you can display that one. Okay, this is all about opt group, and these are some of the basic form elements which will be very useful whenever you are creating forms. Okay, now next we are going to learn about type attributes. Before that, let's just revise whatever we have done till now. We have seen about label. Okay, this is going to give the label. We have seen about this input element. Using this input element we can input the data. Then we are having this select. Using this select element we can create the drop down list. We are having this text area, and this is very useful when we are giving feedback. Then we are having this field set, and when we are using this field set, we can combine the related data. We are having this data list, and inside this, okay, for this input field, we can just create the drop down list. Then finally, we are having this opt group. It is going to combine the related data. We are going to see type attribute and what are the values we can use inside that one. Okay, now here this entire form I am just going to comment it out. Okay, this entire thing we have studied. We have seen label, input, select, options, everything we have seen. Now here I am just going to comment this out. Now below this I am just going to create another form, and inside this let me just remove this action because we are not going to submit any data, so I am just going to remove that one. Now here first I am just going to create first input field, and type is equal to text. Okay, we have already seen type is equal to text. We can insert text data here. Now below this I am just going to create another input field. For this I am just going to write here email. I'll save this, I'll refresh this one. Okay, now here let me just add one label as well, and inside this first let me just write here text. And also I'm just going to add one break here so that we don't get confused. Here also I'll be adding one break. And inside this I'm just going to add here label, and here I'll be writing email. I'll save this. You can see here this is the text. We can insert the text here, and this is for the email. Okay, whenever you are writing and whenever you have added some validation, without this at you cannot insert the data. You have to write this one. Okay, whatever email you are writing, you have to write valid email. Okay, whenever we are giving the type as email. Okay, then next we are having, let me just copy this, and here I am going to paste. Next we are having password, and here type I am just going to give here password. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now here for text I can write like this, and for email I can write like this, but for password you can see it is hidden here. Okay, we cannot see the password, so it is hidden here. So this is how password is going to work. And next I'm just going to copy the same break here. I'll just copy the same thing, I'll paste that one, and here I'll be writing color. Now here type I'm just going to write here color. I'll save this, I'll refresh this one. Now you can see whenever I click on this, I'll be getting this color picker, and whichever color I want, I can just select that color and I can insert that color. Okay, like which is your favorite color. Okay, in that kind of fashion I can just insert that one. Okay, this is another value for type attribute. I'll just paste that one here. Next we are having button. Let me just write here button. Okay, now input field, as soon as I give here type is equal to button, I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. You can see our input field will be acting as a button. Now whenever I click on this, it will be behaving as a button. Now here inside this I can give some value here. Value is equal to submit. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see our input field will be acting as a button. Again I'm just going to copy this, and here I'll be pasting. Next we are having date. I'll just remove this, and inside this I'll be writing here type is equal to date, and value as of now I'm just going to remove. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see whenever I click on this, it is going to give me the month. Okay, and also from here I can just select the year, whichever year I want. Here I am having all these previous years, here I am having all these future years, and also I am having months. Like November I can select 21. Okay, whatever date I want I can just select that one. This is all about type is equal to date. Next we are having, let me just copy this, and here I am just going to paste, and here we are having another type. Okay, date local time. And in here inside this I'm just going to write here date time local. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see here I'll be getting the time as well. Okay, whatever time I want to select, I can just select that one. Okay, we will not have any time zone. We can just select whatever time we want. Okay, we are not having like IST or something like that. We will not have. We can just select based on our requirement. Now you can see the time is getting changed. Now if I just give some random number, you can see here I am having this output. Okay, the time also it is going to give, but when we are using date, it is just going to give the date. Okay, whatever date, month and year, but here we can give the month, date, year as well as the time. Okay, this is all about time local, date time local. I'll just copy this one, and here I'm going to paste. Next we are having file. Let me just remove this, and here I'll be writing file, and let me just change the spelling here, and here I'll just write the type as file. I'll save this. Now this is very useful for selecting the images. Okay, whenever you are using images, you can see it will be providing like this. I can just select any image. When I click on this, it will open this one, and from here I can just select any image, and from here let me just select this book, open. You can see now here I am having book.jpg. Okay, whenever we are inserting the data inside the database, when we click on submit button, that image will be selected and that image will go inside the database. Now here let me just select this one. Now you can see here I am having this image name. Okay, this is how we are going to use type is equal to file. I'll just copy this one and here I am going to paste. Next we are having here hidden, and here I am just going to give here hidden. Okay, by the name itself it is telling that it will be hidden. Okay, you can see here I am having only the label, but the input field is not visible because that is hidden. Now here I am just going to give here value is equal to 1. I'll save this, I'll refresh this one. Now you can see that is also not visible. Okay, whenever we are updating the data or whenever we are deleting the data, if you are performing PHP CRUD, if you are aware of PHP CRUD operation, okay, then you will be aware of this, why we are using this hidden field. Okay, next I'm just going to copy this and here I'm just going to paste. Next we are having here image. I'll just write here image and type is equal to image. I'll save this, I'll refresh this one. Now you can see here I am having this image. Okay, whenever we just want, okay, by default if I just want some another image, I'll just remove this value from here. I'll save this, I'll refresh this one. Now you can see here I am having this submit button with the image and here I am having some default image. Okay, for images we can use, okay, whenever we are using this file I can select only one image. Now if I just want to select multiple images, we can just write here multiple is equal to multiple, or directly you can just write here multiple. I'll just write here multiple. I'll save this, I'll come here, I'll refresh this one. Now whenever I click on this choose file, I just have to click on this shift arrow and I can select the images. Okay, like this I can just select, open, you can see 6 files are selected here. Okay, this is how we are going to work, and here you can see totally 6 files will be selected. If I don't select, I'll be having no file selected. If I just don't give this one, I'll save this, I'll refresh this one. Now whenever I click on this, even if I hold shift button, I'll just select shift button, you can see I can select only one image. I cannot select multiple images, I can select only one image. So this is how it is going to work. Then next I'm just going to copy the same label and here I'm just going to paste. We are having here number, I'll just write here number, and here I'm just going to write here type is equal to number. I'll save this, I'll refresh this one. Now here you can see I cannot write any characters here, I can just write here numbers. I can increase the numbers here or I can decrease the numbers here. Okay, these are very useful whenever you are using cart. Okay, for increasing the quantity you can use this type is equal to number. Then we have seen about password. Now here I'm just going to paste. Now here let me just write here submit and type is equal to submit. Okay, we have already seen about submit. I'll save this, I'll refresh this one. Okay, now this is nothing but the submit button. Okay, I have not written any value, I have given only type is equal to submit. You can see it is created button and inside this I'm having this submit. Now here below this I'm just going to create another type. I'll copy this, I'm just going to paste here. We are having reset and here I'll be writing here reset. I'll save this. By the name itself we can understand it is going to reset all the values. Here I'm having reset button. Now here I have just written some numbers here. I'll just click on reset, you can see the value is gone. Now here I'm just going to write something and here also I'm writing something. Now here I have just selected some random numbers. I'll just select one date and also from here I'm just going to select this thing. And then finally, okay, all this thing, whenever I click on reset, you can see all the values are reset. Okay, this is how we are going to use reset. Whenever you want to reset something, we are just using that one. I'll just copy this and here I'm going to paste and here I'll be writing search. And here type is equal to search. I'll save this, I'll refresh this one. Now you can see for search box we can just write that one, and whenever I click on this cancel, it will get cancelled. Okay, this is how we are going to use type is equal to search whenever we want to search something. And here I'll be having this cross symbol, and when I click on this cross, you can see here I'm having this cross. When I click on this, the data will go. Okay, this is how we are going to use type is equal to search. Now here I'm going to paste and here I'll just write here week. Okay, we are having type is equal to week as well. I'll save this, I'll refresh this one. Now you can see it is going to give me the weeks. Okay, whatever weeks I want, I can just select that one like this. Okay, I can just select the week number 4. Okay, week 4, and also I can just give the year. Then we are having URL as well. I'll just copy this and here I'm going to paste, and instead of this I'm just going to write here URL. and here type is equal to URL. Okay, we can just display any kind of URL. You can see whenever I write here, I can just give this kind of URL inside this www.google.com. okay, whenever you are adding some validation, you can use this one, and these types will be very useful whenever you are adding some kind of validation using JavaScript or PHP. okay, these are different kinds of values inside the type attributes. We are having text for inserting the text data, we are having email for inserting the email, password for password, then color, we can choose any color, then we are having button. okay, this input field will be behaving as a button. Then we are having date, then we are having date local, this is going to give the date, month and year, this is going to give the time as well. We are having type is equal to file, which will be selecting the image. If I just give here multiple, then it is going to select the multiple files. Then we are having hidden field, which will this input field will be hidden. Then we are having image for image, then we are having number. Using this we can just insert the number. We are having submit button, we are having reset. Whenever I click on this, all the values will be reset. This is our search. If I just want to search some data, I can just use this one. Then we are having week, this will give the week and the year. And finally we are having this URL. okay, using this, whenever we are adding some validation, okay, this will allow us to insert only the URL. It will not allow to insert any invalid data, only URL we can insert. okay, this is all about different values in type attributes. okay, these are all very useful. Now we are going to see some of the input attributes. okay, what attributes we can use in our input fields. okay, now here I'm just going to comment this entire thing. Now below this I'm just going to create another form. I'll just create the form. Action I'm just going to remove because we are not submitting any data. Now inside this I'm just going to create one input field. Type is equal to text. Now first attribute is value. Now here I'm just going to write here Khanam. I'll save this, and before that by default I'm just going to create another input field. Type is equal to text. I'll just add one break here. I'll save this. I'll just come here. This everything we have seen. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see here I am having the empty data. I don't have any data, but here the value is fixed. I can just remove this one and I can insert some other value. okay, by default the value I'll be getting as Khanam. okay, this is the value attribute inside input field. Now next, let me just copy this, and here I'm just going to paste. Now below this, okay, inside this itself, now here I'm just going to add another input field. Type is equal to text. Next attribute is placeholder. Now here I'm just going to write here enter your name. okay, this is going to give some placeholder. I'll refresh this. You can see this is the placeholder. When I type this, it is going to go, but value I have to remove, or else it is going to append this one. Value I have to remove, I have to insert this one. But for placeholder, if I just write something, that placeholder will go, and the value whatever I am writing, that will come. okay, we are having placeholder, we are having value. Next, let me just paste here break. Next we are having disabled. I'm just going to write here input field. Type is equal to text. You can give any type. Here I'm just going to write here disabled. okay, by the name itself we can understand that will be disabled. I cannot insert or I cannot type anything here. okay, that is disabled. And also for buttons it is very useful. Let me just write here input, and type is equal to button, and value, let me just write here value is equal to submit, and here I'm just going to write here disabled. okay, before that let me just write here another button. I'm just going to remove disabled from here. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see this button is clickable, but this button is disabled. okay, you can just use this disable. okay, whenever we have not filled all the data, we should not click on submit button. Till then the button will be disabled. Once we are done with filling all the data, only then this button will be enabled. okay, this is how we can do. We are having this disabled. Next, okay, you can write either like this or you can just write like this. okay, disabled. okay, both will work, but inside HTML we will be following this rule. okay, based on your requirement you can use, but mostly it is suggested that we have to follow this rule. I'll just copy this, and here I'm going to paste. Now below this we are just going to see another attribute. I'll just write here input, and here I'm just going to write here maximum length. Maximum length I'm just going to give here 10. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now here you can see only 10 characters I can type. Even if I type here, I cannot write. Only 10 digits, only 10 characters I can write, and this will be very useful whenever you are writing mobile numbers. okay, for mobile numbers, if you just want to insert only 10 digits, then you can just give the maximum length. And also we are having minimum length. okay, when you are doing simple validation, you can give the minimum length as 10 and maximum length as 10. okay, which means that my minimum length only 10 digits I have to enter, and it should not exceed more than 10. okay, so here let me just refresh this. okay, minimum length will also be 10 and maximum length will also be 10. We are having minimum and maximum, and we have seen about multiple attribute as well. Now here I'm just going to add break. and break, and here below this I'm just going to write here input type is equal to file, and here I'm just going to write here multiple, okay, which will allow me to select multiple images. You can see here I'm having this one. Now here I just have to click on this shift and I can select multiple images. All the images will be selected, and you can see 5 files are been selected. Now here if I just don't give here multiple, I'll just remove this multiple from here. I'll save this. I'll just close this one. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see here I'm having this. Now when I click on this, now even if I click on this shift button, I cannot select multiple images. I can select only one image, and that image will be displayed. But here I have given multiple. I can just select multiple images only by clicking shift and dragging that one, and all the files will be selected. Okay, this is all about multiple attribute. Let me just copy this, and here I'm just going to paste. Okay, next we are having read only. Now here I'll be writing input field. Inside this I'm having this type is equal to text. Let me just write here placeholder, enter your address. Okay, here I have given another thing. I'm just going to copy, and here I'll just write here read only. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see here I can enter, but here I cannot insert, okay, because it is read only, and whatever data I'm having here I can only read that one. Now if I just give here value, I'm just going to give value is equal to, let me just write here Mysore. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see I cannot insert, even I cannot remove that one, okay, because it is read only. I can only read this one. I cannot modify this one if I give read only, but here I can modify. Okay, this is all about read only attribute. As I told you, you can write like this or you can write like this, read only. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one, and even it is going to work in the same way. Okay, I cannot type anything here. I cannot modify that input field if I give here read only. Then we are having pattern attribute. Below this I'm just going to write here input field, and inside this type is equal to text, and here I'm just going to give the pattern, and inside this I'm just going to write here capital A to Z, and also small a to Z. Okay, this pattern I have to insert, and also I can insert only 3 digits or 4 digits. Okay, for country code you can use this one. Okay, whenever you want to give code for any country, then you can use this pattern attribute, and you can give any pattern. And then we are having required. Let me just come here, input field type is equal to text, and here we are having required. Let me just remove this, and here I'll be writing required. If you have not added any kind of JavaScript validation, and if you click on submit, the data will be inserted. But if you just give here required attribute without filling that input field, you cannot insert the data. Okay, let me just come here. I'll refresh this. Okay, now here I'm having this input field. Before that, inside this action for form, I'm just going to give the action. Let me just write here data.html. I'll save this, and also here I have given the required. Now here I'm just going to give input type is equal to submit. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now when I click on the submit button, you can see it is going to tell me please fill out this field. Without filling this, I cannot give submit button. Okay, I cannot click on submit button. Okay, the field is required, so I have to give some value inside that. Then next we are having autofocus. Let me just come here. I'll be adding 2 breaks here. Below this I'm just going to write here input field. Okay, type is equal to text. Let me just refresh this. Now you can see no field is selected. As soon as I give here autofocus, let me just remove this autofocus. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see by default this field will be selected. It is going to focus on this input field, and I can just insert that data. Whenever I refresh that, wherever I give this autofocus, that field will be selected for me. Okay, we have seen about list attribute as well, input. So let me just remove this one, and here we are having list is equal to states. Okay, we have already seen this one. Now this list attributes, whenever we are using data list like this, and inside this we have to give the ID. Let me just write here data list, and inside this ID, whatever list I have given here, I have to copy and I have to paste the same thing here. Now inside this I can just give some options. I can just write here Mysore, and below this I'm just going to write here Karnataka. I'll refresh this one. Now you can see whenever I click on this, I will be getting Mysore and Karnataka as my option. Okay, this is how we can use here list attribute. We are having this autofocus list attribute. Then finally we are having autocomplete attribute. Now here let me just write here break. Now below this I'm just going to write here input field. Okay, this is the normal text. I'll just show you the output. I'll refresh this. Now whenever I click on this, okay, by default I'm not getting, but if, okay, whenever you click on this, you don't want any email ID should be displayed to any user, you can just write here autocomplete. Let me just write here autocomplete. Autocomplete is equal to off or on. Okay, based on your requirement you can give. If you give autocomplete is equal to off, okay, it will not give you any suggestion. You have to type by yourself. If you just give here on, okay, by default it will be on. You don't have to give on. Okay, whenever you click on this, it will be giving you some suggestions here. Now I am not getting any suggestions because I have not inserted any data. When you submit any data inside the database, by default it will be giving you the suggestion. If you don't want to display that suggestion, you can just off this one. Okay, this is all about different kinds of input attributes. Let us just revise whatever we have done. We are having type is equal to text. Okay, this is the type attribute. We are having value. Okay, it will be giving the default value. We are having placeholder. Okay, using this placeholder, it will be giving us the hint what we have to do. We are having this disabled. Okay, it will disable the input field. Mostly it is used in submit buttons. We are having okay, you can see for button I have used here disabled is equal to disabled. We are having this maximum length and minimum length. Okay, this maximum length and minimum length is mostly used for mobile numbers. We are having this multiple. Using this we can select multiple files. We are having this placeholder. We are having this read only, and using this read only we can only read the data. We cannot modify any data. We are having this pattern attribute. When we are using this pattern attribute, we can give any country code. We are having this required. Once we give this required, without filling this one, we cannot submit the data. We are having this autofocus. Whenever we load that one, this input field will be autofocused. We are having this list attribute. If we are using this data list, we have to use this list attribute. If this value is matching with this one, only then we will be having this drop down. Then finally we are having this autocomplete. Okay, based on your requirement, you can on or off. This is all about basic attributes inside input fields. That's all guys. If you are a beginner and if you just practice this one whatever I have taught you, and okay, if you keep on practicing about semantic elements, how to structure HTML, then you will have more clear idea how to create website, how to layer the website. Okay, we are having some more topics inside HTML, like we are having audio tags, we are having video tags, we are having canvas, we are having SVG, we are having many more tags. But as a beginner you are not going to use these tags. Okay, once you keep on practicing, once you keep on exploring by yourself, you are going to learn all these tags. Okay, as of now you don't concentrate on that tags because we are not going to use that tags inside a website. Whenever you require that tags and whenever you feel that you need that tags and you want to use that tags inside your website, then learn about that tag. Okay, don't learn and don't mess with all the tags. Just be prepared, keep on practicing about semantic elements, practice how to layer HTML structure so that you can give better stylings. Okay, this is the simple crash course for beginners. If you really want to learn more about HTML, then we are having plenty of resources. You can dig that resources, you can learn more about that one. Okay, thank you for listening. Have a great day.